All right, so now we moving back to the NFL because you know NFL, you know we love it. National Football League, holla at your boy, and we're gonna talk about the Week 3 action coming down. We got some barn burners on here. We got Colts and Titans. We got Chargers and Chiefs, and we got the Bucks and Rams. Sunday night we got Packers and 49ers. I'm not even gonna mention Monday night because you know how we feel about the NFC least. But with that said, Jay, what's the other action you see on the horizon this weekend?
I think the big headliner is the Bucks and Rams in the 425 window. Pretty sure that game will be on Fox. Looking ahead, that's a game that I think we both might have both of those teams in a NFC Championship game. So maybe an early season preview. Tampa Bay on the road, they're the defending champs. We get all that, but the Rams would look pretty impressive thus far. Matthew Stafford looking quite comfortable in that Sean McVay offense. You got Darrell Henderson out there. He's doing a fairly good job for them running the football. Cooper Kupp's putting up great numbers. You got you still got Robert Woods. You got Van Jefferson, Deshaun Jackson. He might be in there. I don't know. He might already tweak something, but defensively, we know what they do with Aaron Donald and company. They're a force to be reckoned with. I think the big thing I'll be looking out for is like Tampa Bay got so many weapons that they can throw out on the field, and I know the Rams got Jalen Ramsey. We get that. He can't cover everybody though, so it's going to be up to some of these other guys out there in that secondary and in the linebacking core, to be able to handle. Depending on how the Rams set it up on defense, whoever Jalen Ramsey isn't covering, whether it's Chris Godwin, Antonio Brown, and then don't forget Gronk, it's going to be hard to – he's had a very nice start to the season as well. So that's what I'm looking at in that game. Do the Rams got enough pieces on the back end to, deal with the Bucks in the pass game? And also, conversely, can the Rams get some heat? On Tom Brady. The Bucks offensive line, they've been pretty good. They was very good last year. I thought Tristan Wirfs came in, had immediate impact. Donovan Smith wasn't embarrassing himself, and they pretty stout in the middle with was it Kappa, Jensen, and Marpet, I believe. They pretty solid. So I think that's the headlining game. That's what I'm looking for. I think the other 425 game on Fox is going to be somewhat interesting. You got Seattle and Minnesota. Seattle, a pretty disappointing loss last week. I mean, they had a nice lead at home against Tennessee, and then next thing you know, Derrick Henry puts on the crown, and here he comes. He's just running through everybody all the way to overtime. And the reason why I'm looking at this game for Seattle is, it ain't gonna get no easier for the run defense because you're gonna have to deal with Dalvin Cook, and we know how big time he can be. So, these are two teams that. I know it's early, and I know Seattle, it's not desperate. It's not time to get desperate for them at 1-1. But Minnesota, you got to think they're going to play with some type of intensity. They let one get away last week. They had a field goal opportunity that they missed. They could have beat Arizona. Instead, they're 0-2. You can't, I know Green Bay hasn't looked, lights out so far, but you don't want to get too far behind those guys. So I think that's a compelling game because of how desperate Minnesota should be, and the trouble Seattle had last week stopping Derrick Henry. I think they're gonna have some trouble with Dalvin Cook. Elsewhere, I think New Orleans and New England is gonna be real interesting. I think the Saints probably the better team, but in a matchup like this, I'm looking at Jameis Winston going up against Bill Belichick. I think that spells trouble. The Patriots are really talented on the back end. They can confuse a lot of guys. Zach Wilson had a horrible time with that defense last week. And, as good as Jameis Winston was in week 1, he took a step back in week 2 against Carolina. So we'll have to see how that goes. I'm probably leaning New England in that game just because, Bill Belichick in Foxborough, I think they're going to throw some things that he's not ready for. But outside of that, I think it's a pretty solid week. There ain't too many duds out there. So I think we in for week 3 is going to be a good one.
Yeah, man, I'm with you. Week 3 seems like it's gonna be what we like to call a barn burner. For all my WWE fans that know who Jim Ross is, it look like we're gonna have a slobber knocker in here. But the first game I'm talking about, the Colts going down to visit Tennessee Titans. You just brought up the Titans. Wonderful come behind win against Seattle last week. Now we want to see if they can do that within the division. And then you know what we got going on with the Colts. We want to know if Carson Wentz body ever going to allow him to do what he need to do as far as, coming and being a – listen, Carson Wentz, man, listen. I feel bad because you left Philly on a sour note because you couldn't stay healthy. Then you show up to the Colts with a second chance and you can't stay healthy. Listen, I don't know, man. This keeps me in the trend. I don't know how long we see Carson Wentz. He needs to get it together, wrap up them sore ankles. He needs to come out here and show the Colts fans why in the hell Frank Reich decided to trade for him. Because right now, this look like a failed investment. Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now, this look like the Colts invested in a cryptocurrency that was made in somebody's backyard and now they out of business. Like, this is not it. This is just not it. So Carson Wentz, you need to, help the Colts out here. And then the next game I want to jump into, the Chargers and Chiefs, because listen, we talked about it earlier in the NBA segment. This is an offensive league. I got it. And you got two guys that seem to be, we know what Patrick Mahomes. Let me not put him and the young kid for the Chargers and Justin Herbert in the same situation. However, Justin Herbert seemed to be the goods. Last year he was the Rookie of the Year. This year he seemed to be picking up where he left off. Probably not as crisp as he was last year, but he do got a new head coach, which I said they should have might have left the old head coach there for this reason. But the Chargers still going. They still starting off. They still looking good. We seen what the Chiefs defense did, in their previous game, which this is a more complete team. He's a better passer. I would like to see how they go. Patrick Mahomes coming back, they just, lost that game. Wonderful game to Baltimore, I should add. They're going to come out here and try to prove a point. We know what that Chargers defense is about, so I think this is going to be a fantastic game. And then the next game, we got the Bengals and the Steelers. Here's the deal. The reason I'm so intrigued into this Steelers game is I want to know who's going to be the quarterback since Big Ben hurt his pec muscle. Because Big Ben been flopping around here for the last 5 years. And Mike Tomlin and the GM never thought, hey, let's go draft his heir apparent because this dude don't want to work out in the offseason. He don't want to make himself any better. He just want to rely on the fact that he's Big Ben. So let's go draft another quarterback. And they have not done that. The Josh Dobbs of the world that was there, that ain't going to cut it. Mason Rudolph, we only know him because he got slapped with a helmet. That ain't going to cut it. Dwayne Haskins, you got cut from a team that can't even come up with a proper logo. That ain't going to cut it. So with those, if that's your options, I would like to know what the Steelers going to do about quarterback. And if they go out here and lose to the Bengals, let's throw up the smoke signals. Because it's about to be something. It is about to be some drama down there in Pittsburgh. Let me just tell you, in the Steel City. And then I think you covered the 4 o'clock window pretty good, so I'm going to skip on down and to Sunday Night Football. Green Bay Packers and the San Francisco 49ers. This is always a classic. Can the Packers finally show that they got some backbone against the 49ers? That is why I'm watching this game. Because the last about 4 times I done watched them play, the 49ers have just ran all types of roughshod over the Packers on both lines of scrimmage. Yeah. Now, the Packers seem to be the better team of the two this season. Let's see. I just want to see if the Packers are going to come in here with that Charmin tissue that they showed us in week 1, or they going to come in here with that 2-ply special that we seen last Monday night. So, outside of that, man, those are the games that got me excited for Sunday.